Alright, so we're starting up my thorium ore, my last thorium ore run before we start up farming instances. Now, this is going to be the last video that you notice this time at. See how it says 11:50 at the server time? It's probably going to be around 12:30 to 12:40 when I start making the instance videos, because I need to, excuse me, I need to, another burp's coming. Nope, that was a hiccup. I was deceived. But, I'm gonna have to compress these videos in between these two, in between this one and the LBRS/UBRS farming video. I'm gonna need to compress all of these videos and then throw them into a folder and get ready to, start making the other videos, because as I mentioned in the very first one, fraps for every minute it takes up 2 gigs, so that sucks. That's a lot of space, and my hard drive is not that big, and my hard drive is only like 500 gigs, so as you know, with everything going on right now, there's a lot of space being taken up. So pretty much I'm trying to think of what I need to say for this video. Give you a little bit more of a rundown when it comes to, well, pretty much all I can think about saying in this video is you go visit the link in the description. It'll take you directly to my website. Anything that I forgot to say or I have yet to say is on that website. Math totals, proof that this guide works, how to control every single market, how to manipulate the auction house, how to mess with people's auctioneer, how to do everything is on my website. I spent hours upon hours upon hours typing out hundreds of guides of how to do everything that I have here. There's just bajillions of amounts of information on my website that I have just all ready for you, right for reading. Now, actually, I'm just going to plug my book here, because I like plugging my book every, 10th video I make, because that's where most of my income comes from, and that, that allows me to just sit on my ass all day and, play games, make videos for you guys, make guides for you guys, and pretty much help you guys. Now, my book is called Dry Lure, the First Artifact. It's a fantasy book about a man named Vaughn. He suffers amnesia. It's a little bit of a cliched fantasy book in the very beginning, because it's a man who suffers amnesia. He realizes that his brother is this corrupt bastard, and he's, starting to kill a whole bunch of people in the world. He's just on a massive conquest for power, and Vaughn realizes that he's the only person that is, capable of stopping his brother. Which the story takes multiple turns throughout the book. You're gonna be pretty much on your tippy toes the entire time. Vaughn continuously keeps getting his memory back in little tiny pieces here and there, and each time he gets it back, it changes a little bit. A little event will change. He'll remember it differently each time, and each time it just reveals a whole new element of the book, and that's kind of where it becomes uncliche. It sounds cliche at first, and it will be a little cliche at first, but once you get into at least chapter 2, you're going to realize that the world I created is not cliche at all, and you're going to realize that the characters I created aren't cliche at all. The races I created aren't cliche. I mean, sure, I still use, half-elves, halflings, dark elves, high elves, trolls, gnolls, ogres. I still use kind of the basic fantasy races, but the way I make them look and the way I describe them is completely different than, something that you would experience in WoW or something like that. Like, the gnolls look nothing like they do in WoW. Obviously, I don't want to steal their ideas. So it all looks completely different. It's all completely new. The world is very well done. I'm just kind of gloating here, but it's a giant world that I created when I was a little kid. I have 6 binders full of ideas for, because I wanted to make an MMORPG when I was a little kid. I grew up playing EverQuest, and I grew up playing Asheron's Call. If anybody here played Asheron's Call, I still consider that one of the best games I ever played in my life, next to Final Fantasy VII. Which Asheron's Call was just a massive, massive world. You could run around in that world for hours, and you would never see the same thing twice. That was just by far the best MMORPG I ever played. Sadly, Turbine never upgraded its graphics and never advertised it correctly for it to be as successful as it could have been. But If you ever played Asheron's Call, you probably thoroughly enjoyed it as much as I did. It just had the most unique leveling system. None of the creatures in that game were used in any other game ever. Every creature in that game was created in its own unique way. Like the creators of Asheron's Call said, instead of making like people normally went out into the newbie zones and fought goblins. Instead of making goblins, they made things called drudges, which were like little cat-like creatures that you fought in place of what would ever be what would be considered normal. I can't think of, maybe the only things that they had in that game that were reused in other games were like cows, bunnies, and that's about it. That's really all that comes to mind that I can think of that they didn't create just a completely new model for. And I've kind of went off topic here, but that's not entirely what I do with my book. I don't create new models for everything, but I have created a bunch of new creatures, and I have created a bunch of new spells, new dramatic events, new like new sceneries. I've really I'm a really creative type of person. I've been playing games for so long. I've been into the fantasy genre for my whole entire life. So I pretty much know my stuff when it comes to fantasy. And right after I upload all these videos and get done this guide, I'm going to be starting to write Dry Lore the Second Artifact, which is going to be much longer than my first book. But if you're interested in checking out my first book, if you're interested in buying my first book, on the left-hand page of my, on the left-hand side of my website, you will see a little picture that says Dry Lore, the First Artifact. That if you click that, it'll take you directly to Barnes & Noble's website, where you'll be able to purchase a copy. The ebook version is only like on Barnes & Noble's. I think it's $7. On Amazon, it's $9, so it's extremely cheap. You know, you can't it's pretty much how much you would pay for a Happy Meal. The actual paperback version is only $12. So if you want to help me out and if you want a good read, I highly recommend that you buy that and you check it out. You can send me a private message on YouTube, ask any questions you want about the book, or hey, if you even have any questions about the guide, feel free to ask. I'm generally a very friendly person. If hell, if you even want to send me a whole bunch of nasty replies and start insulting me, hey, I'm gonna insult you right back. It's one of those things where I'm a talkative person, and I'm generally, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I've gone completely awry right now. I'm completely off topic. And back getting on topic since I plugged my book. I still got a little bit of time left for this video, so I'm just gonna milk it. You can look at my bags right now. I have a ton of thorium ore piling up. I have 11 arcane crystals, which I'm gonna be able to sell. Like I'm not gonna count my thorium ore out loud, because I'll probably screw up the counting and embarrass myself because I'm that bad with math. But you can count it up. I can sell it for 53 gold a stack, but just count it up and add it up to be 50 gold a stack, like while watching this video. Just, like I mentioned in the other videos, just give yourself a lowball number, or give me a lowball number. Always lowball my numbers, because I always want you to make more than what I say that you're going to make. That way you'll feel better. You'll be like, haha, I made more than what the guide said. It'll make you feel better, and it'll make you want to just keep doing it. It's a great feeling to make more money than what you thought you were going to make, because then you just want to do it again and again and again. It's one of those things where you'll want, like, one of the main elements of this is keeping your morale up. I'll talk about that later in later videos, but if you can just be excited to do this, then you're going to make more money than if you're just like, well, I'm going to log on, I'm going to do all this stuff, start farming instances, then I got to check the auction house. Oh, I don't feel like doing this. If you're like that, you're not going to make much money at all. You got to make it just exciting. Be excited to make some extra money. Be like, cool, I'm going to go farm LBRS 20 minutes, I'm going to make 1,000 gold, Nail all that to my auction character, log him on, throw it all on the auction house, start doing this and this, just like, try to make it exciting. I mean, farming for a lot of people isn't that exciting, but just do something that makes it exciting. Just listen to some, like just hardcore music, and just sit there, just banging your head banging while, like, spamming Fan of Knives or something like that. just make it exciting. Make it, if you make it interesting, then you're going to find it much more rewarding than if you just try to drag it out and make it boring and just be like, well, this is boring, so I'm just gonna, just sit there and, make it boring. And just listen to something interesting. If my narration makes you, all giddy and makes you want to farm and stuff, then listen to my narration. Sometimes I talk a little fast, so I might get you, I might make you a little bit excited when I'm talking. I can start rambling on about something for a good 2 to 3 minutes, which I probably did multiple times throughout the guide already. And I can probably make you quite excited about certain things. So whatever gets you going, just sit back and do that while doing this guide, while farming, because you'll notice much better results that way. You'll be able to do more without getting bored. Like back when I was slightly younger, whenever I wanted to do something fast, back when Dragon Force wasn't popular, I used to listen to Dragon Force whenever I wanted to do something fast, just because it's such a high upbeat tempo that you're just like, above 200 tempo, you're just like, music fast, gotta go fast, music fast, gotta go fast. Something like that. That's why I like listening to metal when it comes to farming. That's why I always like listening to metal, because I just like doing stuff fast. I don't like just taking my time. Like when it comes to driving, do above the speed limit. Push that. Speed limit's 55, screw that, do 64. Don't do too far over to where you'll get in trouble, but do just enough over where it's like, he's kind of alright. Just go from one destination to the other. It's just do stuff fast. You only live once. You might as well live to the best of your ability, and you might as well do as much as you want in, a short period of time. The faster you make this gold, the sooner you can start doing whatever you wanted to do. If you drag out farming for 5 hours instead of just doing it in 2 hours, you have the extra 3 hours to do whatever the frig you want. I mean, you could go play Xbox, play PlayStation 3, go watch a movie. You can do anything in that time rather than just dragging out the farming that you were going to be doing. But I've carried on for far too long now. This video has gone over its mark. The instances have reset now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress these videos and then transition into my instance farming videos, which are going to take quite a while. So stick around, watch the next video in line, read my website. Link is in the description, as I always say. And then if you really want to, buy my book, and I will love you forever if you buy my book.